Well, welcome to the April 6th Board of County Commissioners meeting. And we have citizen comments first. Signed up as Dick Mort. Dick?
Could we have a moment of silence for Gonzaga fans?
Oh, stop.
Yes, please. We're set up a little different today because we've been
Hi, Dick.
in budget session, so.
Well, good morning. I want to thank you. It looks like you're trying to do something about your mics up there to get the sound out to the people. So,
Thanks, Dick.
'cause there's some people it's hard to hear talking up here. And then I want to say something. John, you talked about, Lance was thinking about opening the county roads. He said that's further away from now than it ever been, my understanding. Or county forest roads. For-
I don't know that it's further away than ever.
Yeah, he said it ain't gonna happen. So, thank you.
Who said that?
Lance?
Oh, well, it certainly haven't, it's certainly justified in feeling that way
I guess it,
because at every turn, there are people out.
yeah, I guess people still
Stealing-
shooting up trees
stealing
and,
logs, cutting logs up into firewood, trashing, shooting trees. It's endless,
yeah.
Dick. And it's a problem.
Yeah.
I think that we have kind of, as commissioners, we're kind of trapped between trying to keep that open for the public. There's public land on one hand, and on the other hand, we have an obligation to protect the public's interest. And when people are out there trashing the forest and stealing stuff, shooting trees, if we don't do something about it, we're not protecting the public's interest either, so.
Well,
I don't have, it's not a simple answer. We're gonna have a talk about it this afternoon.
well, you talked about surveillance cameras. Do they pick up anybody out there dumping or shooting
You know,
the trees up?
it's hard, people, Dick, you can get an app for your smartphone and figure out where those surveillance cameras are and shoot them. And then getting a good picture, a good enough picture to identify someone, get their license plate, get a good facial recognition, it's nearly impossible. So it's just a lot of money, I'm sorry. A lot of expense and no return on it. I don't have an answer, Dick.
Well-
I'm sorry.
We need to get together a work session or something and decide, try something.
Well, 1:30 this afternoon, is it not?
1:30, right here.
1:30 right here this afternoon.
1:30?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank
We're
you.
having a work session. Thank you.
Thank you, Dick.
I'm sorry we don't have a better answer.
Anyone else that came in late or wants to do public comment before we get started with our regular agenda? Seeing none, all righty.
Did you turn the phone on? Yeah.
What?
Oh.
Oh, phone. Was it 4 sevens?
Oh, yeah, Mike just texted me.
Okay. Are you there, Mike?
It might take a second.
Might take a little while.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, thank you. Okay, so 3A, request approval of contract with Bloom Consulting, authorize the use of quotes, Coos Health and Wellness, Director Mike Rowley.
Yeah, this is a contract with Bloom Consulting, which we've updated to include some more work because our current person doing this type of work is doing a lot of coping, so they don't have time. And so we went out on an RFQ with the help of Nathaniel. We solicited 3 companies as well as published in the World newspaper. We only got the one quote back from Bloom County, who is also working with Douglas County at this time to do similar work, so we should be able to piggyback off of that, which would be helpful. I do want to mention that there are funds in here that this is the end of the biennium, and it appears that we may lose that money if we don't get it spent.
Okay,
All right.
need a motion?
I move to approve and sign the contract with Bloom Consulting and authorize the use of quotes for a contract in excess of $50,000.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, discussion? Any?
No?
None?
Okay, for vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you, Mike. 3B, request approval to hire mental health associate 2 at step 4.
Yes, this person, Tricia Shook, is actually works for Columbia Care, which we contract with at our Bay apartment. So we've had a long-standing relationship with her, and we are lucky enough to get her from Columbia Care. So she has over 10 years' experience in licensing, and she's a qualified QMHA, and she is on the equivalency for 4. And so she already knows our software and everything because the way we have Bay apartments provide their services is through our records, so she should be up and running fairly quickly.
Okay, do I have a motion?
I move, oh, sorry, I just scrolled down. I move to approve, starting Tricia Shook at step 4 of the MHA 2 pay scale.
Second?
Okay, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. 3C, request approval to reclass integrated nurse practitioner dual provider position. Mike?
Yeah, so this position is, the integrated nurse practitioner was just a physical health nurse, and we are looking at getting someone who is duly certified in mental health as well as physical health. And so this would allow us an option to hire someone in that category, and we've actually been trying to see if one of these dual certified people that is graduating will come and work for us. So we needed a new pay scale to represent the dual certification, and that's what we're requesting.
Okay, motion?
I move we approve a new pay grade 781 and approve reclassification of integrated nurse practitioner, dual provider position, 2 pay grade 781, effective July 1, 2021.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, discussion. So this position for mental health practitioner has been open for a long time, right? If I remember right, Mike?
Yes, but we are losing, or we have lost John, and we've replaced him with a locum temporarily, and we are losing Dr. Collier. She's retiring this year.
Okay. Any other discussion?
So this would be a prescriber.
Yes.
Okay.
And just so we remind you, I guess, is we have contracted with a headhunter to help us find someone.
Okay. And your locums, those usually last 6-month contracts? Is that right? Or is it a longer contract?
Actually, we've been able to extend Alocia for years.
Okay. But there's, well, I suppose there's no guarantee with any employee, but we, by the nature of that role, we would expect them to be temporary.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, yes. And actually, we had one for less than a week or so. They did not work out. We let them go fairly quickly.
Okay. Thank you.
And any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay. 3D, request approval of MOU with Red Cross and authorized chair to sign sheriff. Apparently Captain Gabriel Fabrizio is going to present.
Good morning.
Good
Morning.
morning,
Morning.
Captain.
The podium drew me, sorry.
Yeah, we're rearranged because we're doing budget.
Copy. It's expensive to use that. This one's pretty simple. The MOU hadn't been updated in a while. Been coordinating with Joel King as our liaison down in Medford, and finally came to a conclusion. He signed it, forwarded it, and just need approval and a signature on it, so it's valid and current in case something happens. It's part of the EOP and emergency management update process.
Okay, do I have a motion?
Sure. I move to approve and sign the Red Cross MOU dated March 31st, 2021, and authorize the chair to sign.
Second?
Okay, discussion?
No, I had an update with the Red Cross about a month ago,
Mhm.
just about, the work they do. And we actually don't have a board member from Coos County, and I hadn't thought about the sheriff's office, but it seems like
Yeah, other duties.
maybe from the sheriff, someone from the sheriff's office. would be a great fit.
Other duties as assigned, yes. Mhm.
We can talk about it afterwards.
Yes.
We know you have lots of time.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
You aren't doing much.
yeah.
Sleep and free time, that's a crutch.
Yeah, 3 hours a night sleep,
Yes, sir.
okay.
Got 6 last night.
Back to this one, all in favor?
I,
Thank you.
Thank you.
thanks.
3E, request approval, order adopting a vacation 20-003, Jill. Planning Director, Rolf.
Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Morning.
So this is actually a public hearing because it wasn't 100% signed off.
Okay.
So we do have to open for testimony if there is any. So this is in the matter of vacating a portion of a 20-foot alleyway between lots 5 through 12 and 21 through 28 of Block 25 of the town site of the city of Coos Bay subdivision, Coos County, Oregon. Order 21-03-018 PL. Timothy Krutzel actually applied for this, and he's only doing a portion, and he abuts both sides of the portion, I believe, but because it's only a portion, he had to get signatures from the other people, and I think he was only missing one, but it does require a hearing because he's missing one.
Okay.
So I'm gonna step back and just make sure nobody else wants to provide any testimony.
Okay.
Does anybody want to
This
test?
is, excuse me, this is Tim Cruz on dial in. I don't know if you can hear me.
We can.
Yes, we can. Do you have a
Oh, okay.
comment about this?
Say I'm here in case there's questions.
Okay, we have a person who wants to speak, I believe. Come forward, ma'am. We need your name and general location where you live.
Hi, I'm Vicki Welchel. I'm with Coastal Sotheby's International Realty in Coos Bay. I live in North Bend, Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
I represent Timothy Cruzel in listing of property for sale.
Okay.
And most of the properties up in that area have been broken for about 28 years. In the past, we have always had to vacate those alleyways so that we could combine them into one tax lot. For a lender's approval, they don't like to see segmented properties. So this is one of the few, not any that I'm aware of, that we haven't been able to get this completed. Sorry.
No, the battery was dead.
Sorry about that. And so basically that's, if you have any questions for me specifically, I'm here to answer those.
So you're in favor of the vacation?
Yes.
Yes, thank you, just to make sure that's on the record.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. So at this time, without any other testimony, we will entertain a motion.
I move to approve and sign order 21-03-018 PL, adopting vacation for a 20-foot alleyway between lots 5 through 12 and 21 through 28 of Block 25 of the town site of the city of Coos Bay subdivision.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any other discussion?
None.
Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous? Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for
3F,
calling in.
request approval to deposit SAIF dividend check, Human Resources. Nat? Is that
Oh.
you?
I suppose it is. Caught me off guard there. So, yeah, we need to deposit the refund check from SAFE in the amount of $227,446.17.
Okay, have a motion?
We approve deposit of the dividend check into the general fund.
I'll second.
Okay. Discussion?
Melissa, can you elaborate on this a little bit?
I can a little bit, but not. So, our workers' comp insurance is through the State Accident Insurance Fund. Our premiums were rising pretty substantially. We've gone with the retro plan because it allows us to save some money. And in the last 3 years, we've managed to string together, we have actively worked hard to string together 3 good years of workers' comp rates. And that's through the hard work of our department heads, through having a risk manager who's actively working on this, and just recommitting our culture to safety, frankly, here at the county.
Mhm.
Because the most important thing we do is get our employees back home every night in the same condition that they came in with. And so with that, we have gotten a refund check from SAFE because our claims were lower than they expected. So we're very excited about it.
What have our refunds been?
Well, I think there were some years where we didn't get refunds at all, but
Recently?
but recently, I think this is on trend. Megan
Yeah,
would probably
I
know
can't
better.
recall.
Yeah, Megan's nodding. Yeah,
Mhm.
Well, it's pretty significant.
Yeah, very
yeah,
significant.
it's a lot.
It helps with the budget. Okay. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Item number 4, governing bodies 4-H and extension service. Apparently, we need to sign and approve an intergovernmental agreement with OSU.
I think you
And
have to
it's extension
recess
service.
as the Board of Commissioners.
And recess as Board of Commissioners and reconvene as the governing body for 4-H extension.
Thank you.
You like that?
So formally, we used to do an intergovernmental agreement with OSU annually.
Mhm.
And this one is actually, we're doing it for a 3-year period, just to make it easier on everybody. And there is no exact amount in here. There's a clause in there to approve the amount of the contract at budget time,
Okay.
just to kind of make it easier and
Okay.
we don't have to do as much.
Because we have this extension service district and we collect that tax money, and so then they
Mhm.
administer it for us essentially.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
I move to approve and sign the intergovernmental agreement with Oregon State University and the extension
Second.
service.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Well, any discussion? I don't think there
Well,
is
there's no
any.
cost to the county for this. This is
Correct.
fully funded by
Yeah, right,
their own tax levy.
correct. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thank you.
Thank you.
We're adjourned as the
Thanks, Megan.
4-H extension governing body, and we will reconvene as the library service district governing body.
Man, it's getting exciting now.
Mouthful, yes.
So I obtained a quote for the Coos County Library Service District to obtain public entity liability insurance through Special Districts Insurance Services Trust. In order to obtain this coverage, the board must approve inside the joinder agreement. The initial year of coverage is $1,502. And just as a little bit of a background on this, we didn't have insurance for the library service district because the district doesn't actually have any employees. So the underlying risk is very low. However, what we've seen is that it's possible that confusion will arise. And we actually had a case where it was determined that someone did work for the district. However, that was overturned on appeal. It wasn't the right conclusion, in my opinion, and the appellate court agreed, but it sort of brought up the issue of having some low level of underlying insurance just in case we got into a situation where we needed to defend the district.
Alrighty,
I move we approve and sign the joinder of trust agreement for the Special District Insurance Services Trust.
Second.
okay, discussion?
Again, no expense to the county.
Mhm.
It's covered by the library district, service
Right.
district.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, thank you. So we'll adjourn as the library service district and reconvene as the Board of Commissioners.
Move to
Entertain a
approve the
motion for
consent agenda?
calendar.
Second?
All in favor? Aye.
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 Thank you. And we don't have any late agenda items, so commissioner reports.
I'm happy to go. We have been working on budget for the last few weeks, and have another budget session scheduled for this Thursday. And in addition to that, Megan and I and the other commissioners have all been working on understanding exactly how we can spend the American Recovery Funds that will be coming directly to the county. And what, we have been, there are certain things that you're allowed to spend them on and others that you are not. So we're waiting for Treasury guidance, but we've also been attending a lot of meetings and webinars on what that can be used for funding. That's it for me.
That it?
Yeah.
Oh, wow,
That's-
short. John?
All right,
Most of
Vine and
the-
Gonzaga lost last night.
Oh,
There.
had
I said
noticed.
The reason that's important.
Did you
is
watch
that-
it?
That's
Yes, I
Melissa's alma
watched.
mater.
Yes, I went to Gonzaga. It's the closest we ever came to winning the national championship.
You came very close.
And a perfect season.
Well, up to that time.
I know.
Up till the championship game, you were really close.
I know.
That was, you've been a very good team. Really little to add to that, the budget hearings and process that's kind of dominated the last couple of weeks. Have been spending, continue to spend a lot of time on the county forest trust land issue where the state is wishing to impose a habitat conservation plan that would limit harvest on those lands to less than 50% of available lands. These are lands, again, that the counties once had owned through tax foreclosure, but had turned over to the state to manage on behalf of the counties. There's over 600,000 acres of these lands in the western half of our state. We only have about 7,000 acres ourselves, which is good because they're not well managed by the state. The county forest trust lands themselves have submitted a recommendation for a different habitat conservation plan that would reduce the amount of property set aside to not be harvested and increase the revenues to the counties. Where that will end up, no one knows at this point in time. Our county is proposed to be moved, is it not, Melissa, from extreme to
Yes.
high category?
Thank you.
For the COVID virus.
Effective this Friday?
That would be, was announced by the governor today to be effective starting this Friday.
Mhm.
Pardon me?
Yes.
Yeah, so they both sound horrible and they are, but high is better than extreme.
So we'll be there for a 2-week period.
So we're moving in the right direction, not far enough and not soon enough, but hopefully we'll continue. And that's all I had.
Oh, okay.
After Bob.
Other than CFTL, budget, et cetera, I was a Zoom Rotary guest speaker for Bandon Rotary here last Friday. One thing you should know about, apparently windmills are coming to the south coast of Coos County, Curry County. They're talking about having 4 to 5 92 square mile plots off the coast for about 3 some gigawatts of supposed power on floating windmills anchored by 4 anchor points. Some of the important things that the public should know is that in Rhode Island and Virginia, where the only 2 offshore windmill farms are in the U.S., the promoters convinced both of those legislatures to do a feed-in tariff. The feed-in tariff means that the investors are guaranteed their investment if something goes wrong with the project. Then the ratepayers have to pick up the cost, and the investors are made whole. So if you're talking about billions upon billions of dollars, and it goes sideways, the ratepayers, wherever they might be, are on the hook for it. Just something you should know when they're proposing these big wind farms. As well as I understand it, I've been in contact with many of the fishing groups. They're not real happy either because they haven't been consulted about where their placement might be and how that might affect their fishing grounds. So you can speculate, is that going to put fishermen out of work for windmill farms? Don't know. But I guess we'll see. And BOEM is moving ahead, Bureau of Ocean Energy Management, as well as other groups to promote this. And with that, I think that's probably enough. Thank
Bob,
you all for, yeah,
Again,
John?
there's
Hmm?
90
2 square mile, 4 to 5 of those 92 square mile plots.
so that would be
No, in
just
other
a
words,
little
less
under
than 10
10
by 10,
miles
yeah.
on the side.
Yeah, 10 by 10, sort of, a little bit less. Mm-hmm.
How far offshore?
They talked about 40 miles or so. Don't know. Some, earlier, several years back, they were close, to just a few miles. Now they've moved them off to about 40 miles.
How would you even anchor them that far out? The continental shelf
Well,
drops off pretty steep.
yeah, I know. So there's lots of issues. I mean, as I find out, about 90% of the windmills are made in China. The blades have to be changed once every 5 years. The whole body of the thing lasts about 15 or 20 years on land, let alone out there in the salt air in the ocean. I don't know how they're going to construct these things. And then the oil has to be changed in them about once a year, where they climb up in there, unload the used oil, shut them down, unload the used oil, put new oil in them, and off they go again. Now that's quite an operation on solid ground, let alone flopping around out there in the ocean. So it's be some challenges, I guess. Especially since I don't know what the growing need for power is, but right now you notice going up to Columbia or out by Baker City, et cetera, they're shut down quite often because the wind blows too hard or doesn't blow enough, or they don't need the power. And Germany has found out by using wind power and solar that they call it schizophrenic power. When the wind dies or it's too much, they don't get any power out of them. And when the sun goes down or it snows, they don't get any power out of the solar cells. So anyway, lots of issues. And with that, we are adjourned. Thank you all.